episode 13 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Alberton, and who are the rebel scum with me today?
Hello, it's me, DJ Copeland.
Stefan JD.
Stuart Hughes.
And our special guest today,
Peter Bingham Pancratz. Hello, everybody.
Wow, that's a name.
That's a name, all right.
I also like how you said, I'll introduce you, and then you left a pause for him to introduce himself.
Yeah, I know.
I just improvised.
That's how the show goes.
Get you on your toes right out the gate.
Man.
Yeah, wow.
And before we get started on our game, we have very important information to bring to you guys. We have to say last episode we said we're going to do a poll to name our whale section that we somehow have in this podcast about games.
Yes,
Okay.
our very, very important whale facts segment.
Yeah, it's like RT has their pancakes they do once a year. We have our whales.
Whenever there's a game or somehow whales come up, we have a whale section now. And Stuart, you want to do a drum roll for us?
Sure.
If we can make it work.
I'll just put it in post.
I hope that is this coming through.
No. That is. All right. And the winner is, with 25 votes.
I hate my desk so hard.
Stop now.
Okay. Just
For all,
getting the shit out of my desk.
the winner was for all intent and purposes. Is the name of our thing.
Yeah, that's going to be going forward the name of our whale facts segment. And just for the record, going forward, we had a little bit of back talk about this on the group, and I just want to make very, very clear. We made this clear. I thought we made this clear on the Banjo-Kazooie episode, but just to be,
if we have to tell you people again, so help me
just
God.
to be completely clear going forward, dolphins and killer whales and any small whale, any toothed whale, they're all whales. Okay, these are all members of the infraorder Cetacea. Okay, which is broken into two parvorders, and what you might conventionally think of as whales, the baleen whales, right? That's one of the parvorders, and then the other one is the toothed whales, where you have the killer whales and the porpoises and dolphins and all those. They're all whales. Okay, they're all whales. So, for all intents and purposes, is a fitting name because porpoises are whales, just like every other member of infraorder Cetacea. So that is that. And now let's talk about the game.
And we should have called it for all intensive purposes.
Too late
Oh
now.
God, no. You want to make me mad now?
We're gonna start another poll. For all intents and purposes, or for all intensive purposes.
Don't you dare.
It's
Man,
better.
Don't give me that idea. I might do it.
I will cut someone.
It's better because the porpoises are so intense.
All right, and now on to our feature presentation. This week we delve into a 1995 PC classic. We played Star Wars Dark Forces.
Classic is very heavy quotes there.
I'm the asshole that made us play this game because I remember it being fun. When I was
don't feel bad, Mike. Don't feel bad.
You know,
I had fun. I had
you
fun.
know, Mike, time makes fools of us all.
Hey, if LA Posto couldn't be typed in and give me all my ammo, I would have never seen the credits. Of
Oh yeah, no, dear Lord, no. Oh God, no. Yeah.
Yes.
And just
Yeah,
put a
no.
just put a disclaimer in right away. I use
Right.
cheats the second half of the game because fuck Jabba's ship. That's all I must say.
Fuck the entire second half of this game. Let's just go full out.
Yeah.
Like the entire second half of this game is bullshit. Even on
Oh.
the
Well,
I'm just
the reason
glad you made it that far, Mike. Without using cheats or anything.
Well, the only reason I even started using cheats was because in the robotic facility, you drop down, you have to wear a gas mask. And
Right.
playing on a laptop keyboard, my F4, the split screen, takes me out of DOS mode. No matter what I could do, I couldn't get it to work. And by the time I found out about the binding keys, I was like, you know what? I already went down this rabbit hole. I got infinite shields. I got infinite ammo. Screw this. We're done playing fair. So,
I don't use cheats.
Stuart, you have honor.
Stuart, you are a special kind of masochist. And you know what? Your perspective is important. That's why you're on this show.
I genuinely had fun playing this game. I sat down. I was putting it off because I was seeing you guys go like, "Oh, this is awful."
I'm sorry, man. I just can't fathom how you had fun playing this and not Banjo-Kazooie.
I got through. I was watching you guys just like, you know, like, "Oh, this is awful. This is terrible." I'm not having fun. I'm like, "Oh my hand, it's like I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna put it off." So I put it off until Thursday, And I was like, all right, I'll start playing it. I'll segment it for the next couple days. I'll try to do 5 missions each, and just like burn through it like that.
That's impressive.
And I sat down and I played 8 missions immediately. I was just like, I'm having so much fun playing this game.
I mean, I had fun once I had cheats on, and only then, only sometimes. Even then, like this game, when it works, but it has a lot of the things I don't like in games.
Like shooting.
Shooting.
He doesn't like shooting very much.
Look, man, that's a personal bias. I'll own up to it. But shooting and getting shot in games does nothing for me. I just don't get it. I don't get why that's fun. But it also has needlessly confusing level designs.
What are you talking about? You don't understand hitting the switch and running over to the other side where you don't remember hitting that other switch, running back to the vent that opened up? I mean, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It's so simple. Forgive me. You
raise the elevator and then jump in the shaft, then jump down the other shaft, then jump across. I mean, the game just tells you it easily.
Oh yeah, and it's so easy because you have to do it in the dark, and you'll have run out your battery by that point. So yeah, you just have to do it without any light. It's so easy.
I thought that the puzzles got easier as they went along, and that the difficulty like amped up for more enemies.
So did you play this game backwards then? What you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, I played from. What I did was I played it like the Star Wars movies. I played the middle levels, and then I went back and I did the first levels.
Well, I'm trying to think of the different puzzles. So there's the sewer level where you have to.
The sewer level is pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the 3rd level. So you get off there and you have to raise the water level and do all this stuff, and it's very difficult for the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it took me a while to even. I'll be honest. It took me a while to even figure out that the switch I was hitting was opening different doors. Where I was like, I hear shit happening. What the fuck is going on?
That is a consistent problem in this game. Is you hit a switch and you hear something move, and you just can't see what it is.
Like time to explore. Yeah, I think the idea is that you're supposed to explore a room.
Yeah,
entirely. Like you're supposed to explore as much of a level as you can, and then come back to the switch.
Yeah, that in general is sort of how you're expected to play this game, because you're given a map, but it only fills out once you go to that place. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna be lost the first half of every single level until you've walked around the entire level and uncovered the whole structure.
And still a better map than the Bethesda games. Yeah. So
and still a better map than when we played GoldenEye, which had no maps. So it does have that.
Oh, you just need
have memories.
You have to get the special. Yeah.
Yeah, just have memories, I guess.
You need to get the special N64 controller with the map button on it. I don't know if they told you that. Yeah.
You just gotta play it when you're 10 years old. Play it nonstop for like a summer or 2 summers, 3 summers, and then when you go back to it, it's just fine.
Actually, GoldenEye, I remember the maps almost perfectly.
Same.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I think just even after not playing it for many years, I would just kind of remember what this kind of switch does, and I remember I have to go. The detention level was a little hard because it's not kind of intuitive. You have to raise the elevators, and then you have to jump across them at a certain point. And if you don't have it right, you're not going to make it through the door.
What level was it?
Yeah.
What level was it where it might have been the sewer level where there's a crusher and you have to move back and forth on top of the other crushers?
No, that's way later.
That's is that detention center? That's
the detention center, which is the worst jumping puzzle in the entire game.
That was very confusing.
History.
Yeah. And by the way, that's another thing everybody loves is first-person jumping puzzles. That's just everybody loves that, right?
Hey man, Half-Life is considered one of the greatest games of all time, and that game has so many jumping puzzles.
So when are we doing that games, DJ?
You tell me, man. I will never ever put that game on my list. Ever.
What's funny is it was actually on my short list of games to pick, and I was
we know what's coming.
I was like, I wonder if we should do this right now or if we should do it later. So look forward to the next season being Half-Life.
Yeah, well, hey, part of the problem with this game is that it's actually a Doom clone, obviously, with a Star Wars aesthetic. And the difference between this game and Doom is that Doom actually had great level design, and this game does not.
This game has
very confusing level design.
all the
Yeah,
time.
this game is it almost seems intentional in how confusing it is.
But this game has one of my
Look,
favorite. It's one of my favorite things of all time, where you walk into a room and a bunch of stormtroopers turn around and go, "You don't have authority to be here." And the second they start talking, you just light them up. It is the most hilarious anticlimax of all time. You don't have authority.
Oh yeah. Well, by the way, that is one of my favorite parts of this game is the stormtrooper voice clips.
Yeah.
I love
It's
the
just
voice clips.
it's so perfect. It is.
Hey,
so
who are
perfect.
you?
It's like, are you not even gonna check my ID or anything? You're just
Just shoot.
You're not authorized to be in this.
yeah.
Just blast them in the face. If you can cut them off from saying it, it is the funniest thing in the goddamn world. It's like playing Overwatch, and you like hear like Farah or Hanzo trying to do their ultimate, and you kill them right beforehand. It's just such a satisfying feeling.
I was always partial to when you fell off a cliff and you just kind of had a long, drawn-out scream before you
Oh my god, that's like one of the I think that's one of those like classic stock screams. Also.
Yeah.
Like that you can hear that in a bunch of different movies.
It would have been great if it was the Wilhelm scream, but it was like
You know what? It's basically a close second to the Wilhelm scream and like how commonly that scream is used, and I love it. It's a fantastic scream.
The difference is the Wilhelm scream is for falling. The Star Wars Dark Forces scream is for after you've hit the ground and you've all the wind is knocked out of your lungs. You just like, that's the noise.
Man, this game loved bottomless pits. This game loved be like, hey, you want to jump over that? Guess what? You missed it. That's nice.
We might be thinking about different screams because the one I'm thinking of is the one that goes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It actually made me less mad whenever I would like take fall damage. I was like, you know what? I can't stay mad at you, game.
Can't stay mad at you.
Jump off just to hear it every once in a while, you know.
You should call it too. The voice for Kyle Katarn in this game was Nick Jameson, who would go on to play many more characters in Star Wars, including Uncle Owen in the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars episode. I was like, that's a weird get.
Okay. Yeah.
Since you mentioned it, I like Kyle Katarn. Like, I mean, I know he doesn't do anything in this game. Hey, he stole the Death Star plans before Rogue One.
He also played Emperor Palpatine in the Clone Wars TV series, the animated one, not the CGI one. There are three different. There are four different media, like works of media within Star Wars called Clone Wars. It's very confusing.
Yeah,
that's another time.
Yeah. Mike, going off with what you just said, I always liked this game kind of because it had Kyle Katarn. You're just kind of a commando trying to go and blow up these places, and it had nothing to do. It was like an EU thing that had nothing to do with the movies. It was just you doing things. They had no Jedi stuff. It had no Force stuff. It had no lightsabers or anything. It was just you blasting people and blowing up bases. And it's completely disconnected with anything in the movies for the most part.
I always like when Star Wars, like the Star Wars IP, can tell a story that's not about Jedi. I think that's probably like not necessarily. It's not necessarily always good, but I always like when they do that because it's like when you just play 100 different games and watch 100 different movies about Jedi, and it's like I just want to see something that's not about this dichotomy. I just want to see people how other people exist in this universe. It's why I like Bounty Hunter's like one of my favorite games because it's just Jango Fett being Jango Fett.
Yeah. I mean, he had Darth Vader. He's kind of talked about the Force in there, but I mean, it was like a minor part of the story, basically.
Yeah. He doesn't do anything. He just talks to the fat guy, and the fat guy sends Darth Troopers and stuff after you.
Yeah, but much like Rogue One, Darth Vader is just there, and the real bad guy is some.
Darth Vader is literally only in this game to talk about how cool Kyle Katarn is.
Yeah.
Like that's half of his lines is like, ooh, Kyle Katarn is very smart. We need to be very careful of Kyle Katarn, who is a very smart and brave and capable warrior.
Kyle Katarn is like one of the funniest characters to me because people genuinely love Kyle Katarn's character, and I can see why. But like, he's one of those characters that he started off as he was just supposed to be this mercenary that exists within the universe, and he became like, I think was it the second game where he started becoming a Jedi immediately after?
Not immediately, but you get the lights. The one that when I was asking questions, nobody remembered this game. Everybody remembers Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, I think. Star Wars Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight.
There's Dark
like
Forces 2, and then there's Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy. They're the most confusing. This is from the era from like early 90s to maybe like 2007, where every Star Wars game had to have the most amount of titles in their title.
You forgot one. You forgot Star Wars Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith.
Mysteries of the Sith, yeah. My favorite is still...
we forget.
my favorite will always be Star Wars TM, Knights of the Old Republic TM2, The Sith Lords. That is such a long title. It's like my favorite game, but I hate having to write out that full title.
So I think I was the only person that played this on PS1, and everyone else played
dear
it on
Lord.
PC.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Did you not know about the
here's the
PlayStation
thing.
version?
You guys had control problems, right? You guys had to do a patch or something to get strafe and whatever.
Because like first of all, just I bought this on Steam, right?
Yeah.
And
I also played on Steam.
this does not come with a digital manual, and there's
No, it
no
does not.
tutorial in the game. So I
There is not.
literally had no idea how to do anything. So I had to look up what the controls were on like a forum. And as soon as I saw that the controls for looking up and down were the page up and page down keys, I was like, okay, how do I fix this?
To be fair, this is also a game from 1995. You don't have to look up very much.
This is also one of the
you totally do. Like
one of the first games with it too.
If you you're playing with a mouse, right?
You get shot at from above so often in this game.
Yeah, but you're playing with a mouse, right?
Yeah.
So the mouse can act as a joystick. If you move the mouse up, you actually will shoot up.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
That makes no sense.
So that might be why I had an easier time. Yeah, it's if there's an enemy above you, it's easier. This is gonna sound so stupid. It's easier to jump and like push the mouse forward and you'll shoot up than it is to actually look up.
Right.
I
no.
played
All
the
right.
keyboard.
Yeah, no, okay. If this is supposed to be your argument that the controls in this game are actually okay, I don't think
I thought they were fine.
I don't know. I don't think you're making your case very well right now.
It sounds dumb, but I think that's easy enough to do. I think that I was like,
I ended up
that's a weirdness that I can forgive easily.
I ended up just rebinding my keys. I found an external program that would let me map page up and page down to up and down on the mouse. So, and I also put changing weapons on the scroll wheel, which is so helpful because I did not want to have to remember a bunch of number keys for
How much did you change weapons? I didn't change weapons until mission.
Well,
13.
yeah, of course you didn't because if you have to use the number keys, you're not gonna fucking bother.
I got the blaster and I was like, I'm not gonna need anything else for a while, so I'm just gonna stick with the blaster.
I basically just switched between which blaster. Are you talking about the one that shoots blue?
Shotgun, I think, right? Yeah, it's a shotgun.
No, you're talking about. Okay, hold on. Let me look up the names.
Are you talking about the stormtrooper one?
Yeah, the stormtrooper blaster.
That's like the basic one, yeah.
The one with really shitty aim. Yeah.
Oh god. Okay, it wasn't just me then. I couldn't shoot anybody at sometimes. Okay.
Oh no, I think that one is intentionally shitty. Like,
yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
Which I think is really funny. Like, I like that a lot because if you think about it, it's the gun that stormtroopers have.
Yeah, the
so
E11 blaster.
Oh yeah, okay. No wonder they can't hit me.
They actually cover that. They cover that in the I think it's the Clone Wars. It's definitely in the EU about how like it was essentially the Empire was cutting costs, and so they just got this really shitty rifle.
That's a big retcon.
Yeah.
That's a big retcon. Because none of this story matters anymore after Disney bought it. So yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, back then,
right.
If you look at like the web.
Listen, man, all this stuff is basically glorified fanfic anyway. Like,
it is now.
It is now. It wasn't before.
It was before.
It wasn't before. No, it was. The EU has some like really, really like well written books and games in there, and everyone
Oh yeah, just to let you know, there will be more Star Wars games on this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got a few I want to pick.
What you're thinking of, Mike, is the Imperial repeater gun, which did have a shotgun feature. If you hit R, it would have a secondary fire that fired out 3 shots. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And if you just held it down, it was like a submachine gun. Yeah, that thing was awesome. That was the other gun I used.
I use that thing a lot. When I had the cheat codes on, I used that one all the time.
Yeah, it's like a rapid fire machine gun basically, and just kind of mowing people down.
Yeah, I used the 3-shot for the Gamorreans.
Yeah.
Gamorrean. Oh, the fat piggy guys.
Yeah, the pig guys.
Oh, they can with the cheat code. They can still kick your ass because they hit directly at your health.
I never got hit by one.
Yeah, I did a few times.
They're so slow. How'd you get hit by one?
Well, one time I was walking by a window and I'm trying to shoot this guy throwing a grenade at you in Jabba's ship, and I'm like, he can't touch me. Well, apparently his axe somehow clipped through the window of the wall and started smacking me in the face. That was nice.
All you have to do to not get hit by even the stormtroopers in this game is strafe. If you just circle, you can circle strafe anything.
I never figured out how to strafe with the keyboard. I never really tried either. So
A and D.
Okay, yeah. So speaking of strafing, when you play this piece of shit on the PS1, what you have to do to strafe is you get locked in by holding R2, and it will lock you into a strafe facing one direction. So if you want to turn, you have to let go of R2, turn, press R2 again, and start strafing again.
Jesus Christ.
Man, I was an asshole, wasn't I, making us play this game? I really was an asshole.
I had fun.
I kind of
again, Stuart, I love you. I mean this with all due respect. You don't count.
You like Fallout.
I do
and
like Fallout. Look,
man,
if
Fallout
you like
almost broke
difficult
me.
games, you'll like Dark Forces. What are you saying?
If you have a really high tolerance for bullshit, you will love Dark Forces without cheats.
Are you saying that Dark Forces should have an easy mode?
Oh, God, let's not open this can of worms. And by the way, it does have an easy mode, and yes, I did play on it the whole time.
Same.
And it didn't help.
So did I.
No, it didn't. I mean, I wouldn't even try normal hard. This game automatically, in my opinion, is hard. Like, it doesn't need. And plus,
this game is already hard. Like again, and this is a pattern I'm seeing with a lot of games that we've played from around this time is really this is a game that is designed to be bullshit at the beginning and then like more reasonable as you repeatedly play the same level over and over and over.
Yeah. You get really fast once you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's again, it's one of those games that's meant to be beaten that really only has a play time of like 12 hours, but is meant to be beaten over a period of months because that's the kind of time people had back then.
I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'm going to play it again one week and beat it in a week and have fun.
There was one super.
Well, that's that bully for you, Stu.
You know what the most bullshit moment in this game was that did not need to be in this game was the fucking ice cleats. Those did not need to be in this game.
You can totally miss those too so easily.
I did until it got, because I had one point I was going through that waterfall and I'm like, why is this so hard? I was using grenades to propel myself and I had no cheats on at the time, so I'm just throwing grenades and blowing myself up to move across the ice. And then I found out they're ice cleats you're supposed to grab in the beginning. I
actually wish that was a review on the box, like Game Informer. Why is this so hard?
Not include ice cleats.
Yeah.
It just wasn't necessary. Like,
my favorite part about the ice cleats is that once you get them, you have them for the rest of the game. At no point on any other level is there ever more ice. It's just it stops.
The same as the gas mask. You don't need that gas mask. They didn't need to include that part. They didn't need to make me turn to the dark side and start cheating. Like, they didn't need to do that.
Yeah, but you can put the gas mask on whenever you want and waste your battery. How nice is that?
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's great.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't hit that button.
Could you not put your? Oh, no wonder you had to use cheats then, because that level will just annihilate you if you don't.
You can't do it. I tried. I even tried Infinite Shield. That's why I first started cheating. And then once I started cheating, there was no turning it back. I was just done.
I should point out that I love Star Wars so much that while talking about that, while playing the game, I was watching the movies. While we're doing this podcast right now, I have an iPad to the right of me playing Empire Strikes Back. It's just unbelievable.
I mean, it kind of gets you in the mood. It's got the John Williams music interspersed in there, you know.
Yeah.
every
Oh
once in a
yeah.
while.
I will just say, I think the music and just the sound design in general in this game is really good. I think it was one of the best parts of the game.
It's just kind of like more fun Star Wars music. It's not. I don't know what to call it. It's not 8-bit. It's like
it's
something.
it sounds like DOS music. It sounds like LucasArts DOS music. And actually, that's one of the things I love about DOS games is just the sort of the sound chip, like just the way that sounds. I've always loved like that style of music, and I've always loved that sort of pixely DOS style of graphics. I'm a fan.
When I was a game design student many years ago, I took a class called History of Game Design, which was fucking fantastic. It was taught by one of the guys that actually developed Age of Empires.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was an awesome class and awesome. My favorite part about the class was we walked in and the teacher gave us his contact information, and he was like, "The best way to contact me is through my gamer tag on Xbox Live. Here you go." We're like, "What? Okay, cool class, yeah." And we had a whole month on video game music, and I just loved the DOS music, the 8-bit music was so fascinating to me. It was like, here's 10 notes that you have. Try to make something memorable with this. So whenever I hear like old music now, I'm just so appreciative of it doing anything for me.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and the music in this game is like perfect. It has that John Williams feeling to it. It gets you in the mood. There's only there's like 4 or 5 tracks in this game. There's not a whole lot.
Mhm.
But
well, I think maybe each one repeats maybe once or whatever.
There's this one sort of theme. There are 1 or 2 sort of themes that sort of repeat through multiple levels. I think one of the few levels that has a unique track is the detention center, which, oh boy, we're gonna get to. If we haven't groused about it enough already.
The track on the Executor, I believe, has the Imperial March as the background.
Mm-hmm.
Go dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
So.
you actually hear bits of that on the final level as well, on the Arc Hammer. Yeah.
I love that, like, John Williams wrote that song, and for the next 30 years, God, more than that now, what, 50 years almost? For the next 50 years, that'll be peppered into every single Star Wars media in the smallest way. It's always so subtle. I love it.
Oh, yeah, and also Luke's
Not
theme.
always subtle, but...
Luke's theme is all over this score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah. They played that a lot.
And also, dun, 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 that is like multiple places in this. Like, those little motifs are all over the score of this game.
We enjoyed the game more.
Yeah.
Speaking of the score, did anyone else notice that the narrator in the videos was the same guy who narrates the levels in Rogue Squadron for 64?
I knew his voice sounded familiar.
Yeah. This is the same dude. I don't know his name, though.
I'm sure they're just like, oh, you're really good at narrating, so we'll get you to do all these, all these games. And
there are 3 voice actors in the game, so I'm sure I can find them.
And, well, let's talk about voice acting for a second. I was pleasantly surprised by actually how good it was. Like, most of the voice acting you're going to hear in this game is either, like, the 2 or 3 word sound bites that every stormtrooper says, or... like little bits of radio chatter between you and Jan, who's like the mission lady, the lady who gives you missions.
Mission lady.
Mission lady, yeah.
They have kind of a banter going on.
Sounds like a swim show.
Again, it does a really good job like setting the tone. And I love when games have that sort of radio chatter thing between characters. It sort of like really puts you in their shoes and like gets you into the atmosphere of it. Like it's a big part of the reason I'm such a fan of, like, for example, Star Fox 64 or the Sly Cooper games. Like I like games that can do that really well, and this game does it really well. Yeah. So
Star Wars games also tend to get like they tend to have the Star Wars media in general tends to have like their voice actors, and they use them for everything. So you get this really nice like consistency. Like the guy who plays Darth Vader has played Darth Vader in most Star Wars games. Most Star Wars media altogether. No, he does a pretty good job. I mean, he's Darth Vader in like fucking every game and half the animated shows. So, you get that like really familiar voice that just does a pretty great job. Because it's hard to hire, James Earl Jones to a 10-hour game.
Yeah,
we need you to read 3 lines. All right, it'll be $5 billion.
He's probably busy He's probably busy with the Lion King, right? That's at this time, so they couldn't get him.
Oh yeah, so they couldn't send him back in time to 1995 to record for this game. Yeah.
My favorite voice actor that shows up is I can never remember his name. It's the guy who does the codec entries in Mass Effect, and he has such a specific voice, and he's in some Star Wars games. And it's just whenever I hear his voice, all I can hear is him talking about like the Hanar in Mass Effect. Just like I know that fucking voice. He's also like the newsreader on the elevator, so it's just like that little voice that pops out to me all the time. I'll be watching something, I'm just like, that's Mass Effect guy. What's his fucking name? I'm never gonna remember.
If only Google.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, one level that we hadn't talked about yet that when I started cheating, but I thought was actually cool was Nar Shaddaa when you're in like the city.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite level. I mean,
I hated it.
I
couldn't die.
Yeah, that was one of the only levels, maybe the only level that had only one objective. Because like a lot of the levels in this game, which it kind of annoyed me a little bit.
There are a couple levels with like 2 objectives, but the second objective is usually get back to the ship.
Yeah, exactly. Like
annoying.
Yeah, and then the final level is like you have to go to 3 different like completely separate places.
Yeah.
And then go to an escape pod, and it's like, oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I forgot about that boss fight.
When you mentioned Nar Shaddaa is good, and that's my favorite just because it like has like they have like a very urban. They made it look very urban with like graffiti and like restaurants and stuff.
I do like that a lot. Like it's like, oh, okay, this is like the Star Wars version of like a city.
Yeah,
like a Coruscant or something. Like you're in a downtown city. You're walking through alleyways.
Yeah, and this exactly. Like, and that was cool. Like, I also got to give this game props just in general. It's really good with just environments and atmosphere. Like getting across the feeling of a Star Wars set just with like these really blocky, DOS textures.
I think that's something all the games have really like. LucasArts. Say what you will about Lucasfilm now, and like EA, LucasArts, I always felt like did a fantastic job with like the world building, in their games. Like Nar Shaddaa, whenever it shows up in a game, I'm all about Nar Shaddaa because it always feels like this giant city that's like you can only explore one block of, and that even that one block is like it feels like it's too much to explore.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's so massive.
And I loved. And like the Imperial City was also really cool. I don't know how much of that we've actually seen in the movies, but it's like the lobby of the world's most evil hotel.
The Imperial City is not in the movie. It doesn't exist.
They just had like busts. They had just like busts of Emperor Palpatine that you could like punch and they would like break or whatever. It's just like a little.
It was great.
Little quirky design that adds a little bit world detail. It's really fun.
That was a long ass level too.
It was, and then it has like a vault at the end where you have to like. Open all the switches.
Where you have to
like that was a bit of a pain.
That was a very tedious puzzle, but I actually did like it. Like I think that was a cool puzzle just to figure out. But once you did figure it out, you were like, "Oh, wait, that means I have to spend 2 solid minutes running around the outside of this vault." And then another 2 minutes running back around the outside in the other direction.
I'm just happy they didn't make you jump because this game loves jumping.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. That oh my god, that fucking garbage chute in the detention center is the most bullshit moment of the game probably. Like you have to make these incredibly precise jumps on moving platforms 3 times in a row in a dark room without light at the very end of the level, so you probably ran out of battery for your light. So,
and to make it more fun, there's a swamp monster inside the sludge.
So you
popping up.
So you miss, You fall all the way down. Oh, and by the way, you have to immediately scooch off to the side because if you fall down, there's like a crusher right above you that'll come right back down on you.
Yeah, you fall and you're like shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, then you go to the side and then you look around and you're like, oh shit, where was I?
I have to
How
make
do
a
I
bit of a
get back?
retraction. The Imperial City does show up in, I think, Star Wars Rebels. Because it's Coruscant. The Imperial City is Coruscant.
Oh, that makes sense. I was thinking that's what it was. Oh,
But you don't see it in any of the movies for some reason, even though I would love a movie to go back to Coruscant and be like, hey, check out like what the Empire's done with the place.
Isn't Solo in Coruscant? Or Solo different?
No, that's Corellia.
No, yeah, he's on Corellia.
Okay.
Yeah.
But since you mentioned Imperial City, I did love the fact that, like, when you get to the end of the... Well, I love the fact that I had cheats. I would have hated it otherwise if I didn't know it was coming. You fight Boba Fett at the end of that level.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And kill him, maybe?
Oh god. Fucking Boba Fett. You cannot get a beat on that guy. He's just like...
You want to know the secret to that level?
Oh my god. What?
It's the concussion rifle, or the assault cannon that you get right before that fight. It takes a couple shots to kill him.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about? Like the grenade launcher blue thing, or
Yeah, the big, like the last gun you get. It's
the huge,
the rocket launcher,
huge,
like
yeah.
Well,
the giant thing that shoots Kamehamehas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's accurate.
Yeah, try fighting Boba Fett on the PS1 version. It's
I don't know
almost
how you did that.
impossible.
There are a few times. Well, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say there are a few moments like where if you move away from Boba Fett, he'll like be in a corner. He'll just float there in a corner, like stuck or whatever. So if you get lucky, you can just like kind of shoot him like that. Because I guess I don't know what, because the floating mechanic for him is probably not very advanced. So it just gets lost in the corner. So
He shoots a lot of shit too.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And
Then oh god, like the later enemies in this game are just ridiculous. Just in terms of the sheer amount of shit they can shoot at you. With
like the Trandoshans that have essentially the grenade launcher.
All I ever think of is, I think it was Bosk, right? Isn't that the bounty hunter that they?
Yeah,
that,
he's Trandoshan.
Yeah.
I think if
Come
you
at
look
me,
in the
son.
I think if you look in the manual, it calls them Bosk, like Bosks. Like every one of them is just called Bosk.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Kind of racist, if you ask me. But
Yeah, there was a period where they were all called Bosks.
yeah.
That's just, I liked them. Like, I really liked when he showed up because when I was a kid, who am I kidding? I still love that scene, Empire Strikes Back, when all the bounty hunters are standing there. IG-88, Forlom, Zuckuss, Dengar. Yeah, Boba Fett. That tells you how much I...
That might be my favorite Robot Chicken skit when they're all standing there and Dengar comes in and he's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, Dengar is here."
I like Dengar, even though I like all of them. I used to have all their figures, but
He also in Robot Chicken he admits he's covered in toilet paper and his ship is a giant toilet, which I find fucking hilarious.
well, hey Stuart, I know a game where you get to fight the great Mighty Pooh.
We're going back to this again, huh?
I will kill you. I will kill myself.
Okay, since we're talking about bullshit enemies in this game, when you start out Jabba's ship, you start out with, they take away all your weapons, they throw you in a door. Okay, you're sitting in a big room, and all of a sudden a fucking dragon comes out of the door and eats you. You gotta punch him.
You gotta punch a dragon to death
in the face.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I really liked the Jabba ship level just because I like the concept. I like the concept of like levels like that where it's like, oh shit, you got captured, you got your shit taken, and now you have to figure out how to get out of this without any of your shit. And that was probably my favorite cutscene too. The like when you have Jabba on the hover screen with the. I just love whenever Jabba the Hutt speaks is like my favorite part of anything.
I know that was like a flub, but I really like calling that now the hubba screen. For everybody else, it's a hollow. Everybody else, it's a hollow communicator. For Jabba, it's a hubba screen.
Oh, man,
what's funny to me is that the dragon you fight is a Kell dragon.
Yeah.
Not a crate dragon, even though crate dragons exist. They don't go like. I don't know why they invented a new species instead of inventing this species that looks exactly like crate dragons. And at some point, they're like, "Oh yeah, they're related too," but they look exactly the same. Just call it a crate dragon.
Yeah, I looked on Wikipedia and they were saying, it was not big enough because of the crate dragon skeleton, and
Yeah.
You know, in the first movie it was really big, so like, okay, we got to make it like the small cousin of them or whatever.
It can't be a baby crate dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's got to be a different dragon that's small enough to fit on Jabba's ship at all times.
I mean that, and I didn't know what to do. Well, I mean, for Kel Dragon, I fought him a couple times with my fist, and I said, "Screw this!" Typed in the code, and I just shot him in the face, and that took care of my problem. Real fast.
Yeah, it's hard to do. I mean, because you're supposed to just punch him, but you know, it's
you're supposed to run up, punch him in the face, run back.
Yeah.
I watched the guy do it, and I'm just like, yeah, that's
how did
happened.
if you go on further difficulties, there's like tons of them. There's like 10 of them. Like there's 2 in the pit, and then you go to another room, then there's 2 more of them. And it's like, how are you ever supposed to get through
2 in the pit where you start?
Right. There's one that comes, and then another one comes after you kill that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. On like the highest setting.
You fight 2 in a row.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and you fight more of them later too, but later, or you fight more of them later, but it's after you get your guns back, and it's just this moment of catharsis where you're like, guess who has grenades now, motherfucker?
When I was a kid,
nothing but pick up grenades this entire ship. I'm gonna use all of them.
When I was a kid, those always terrified me. I will admit it. Like they were like eating your face off, and it was it just kept coming, and they would just die, and then they'd come back, and I did not like them at all.
I was afraid of crate dragons. Because I played Knights of the Old Republic, and you had to fight the Krayt Dragon that's like 3 fucking stories tall.
Wow. Jeez.
And I was like, if this thing existed, I would just be... like, there's nothing I could do. It's like the Megalodon of Komodo dragons.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. I forgot what Krayt Dragons were. I just went and Googled it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, I mean,
why they didn't do it, though.
They could have done it, but who knows?
I mean, the whole idea with this, with this game was to add to the universe, to have more things going on. That's what they were looking for. That's what they did, even though it don't matter anymore. But
it came. I mean, it came out like in the dark period when there were no movies and there was no prospect of being any more movies, and like the EU had just started up with the Timothy Zahn and other novels, and I think they were right to go with something that like had nothing to do with the other stories, and you got. I think I'm trying to think of the other Star Wars games around this time. There's Nintendo ones, but those were all they're all just based on the movies, and you just follow the structure of the movies.
What's funny to me is how much this was essentially like the Rogue One of Star Wars games.
Right.
Yeah,
it was.
It came out nothing to do with Jedi, nothing to do with anybody, and you're just a mercenary that's like working against the Empire that used to work for the Empire, maybe.
And it kind of unfolds like a mystery. It's like,
definitely
got killed.
Yeah, you were.
Like, who did this? And then you were investigating what went on here. And
yeah. I should say probably the Solo of Star Wars games, but that might make people not want to play it.
Oh, don't get into that can of worms.
Solo, all right. I'm just going to say right here, right now, we don't have to keep talking about this. Solo is the best Disney Star Wars movie, and that includes all of them. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's great, but it's the best one of them. Okay, moving on.
Oh boy.
Well, obviously, it's
just let's let the rest of you. Yeah, I'm just gonna let the rest of everyone.
One thing we can
yelling
say
at their iPhones now.
One thing we can say about the new Star Wars movies for sure is that they are divisive. That's the only thing you can say about them and not get yelled at.
Well, thank God. Thank God we're past that, and when Episode 9 comes out, I'm sure everyone will love it. So.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
J.J. Abrams is coming back for 9, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah. I think he basically said, "Get the fuck out of the way, Rian Johnson." I gotta unfuck it. I gotta unfuck this shit.
Listen, man. The Last Jedi is not Rian Johnson's fault. In fact, The Last Jedi is a huge improvement over The Force Awakens, although it was limited in how much it could have improved over it because The Force Awakens basically fucked up everything on landing. Like.
I liked Force Awakens a lot.
I liked it too.
I liked it.
Force Awakens was my favorite.
It's a fundamentally flawed movie, and it just built to be the basis of any kind of interconnected narrative.
I've realized on this show we love getting hate from people. Apparently, I shoot dog meat in the head. He tells people Force Awakens is a bad movie. We just love hate, don't we, on the show?
I think Force Awakens is a deeply, deeply flawed movie. It's fundamentally broken.
My argument for Force Awakens is that it was the exact thing that Star Wars needed to do to be popular again. Yeah. It was everyone came and they said people fucking hate the prequels, so we got rid of that guy. And we're gonna redo A New Hope in a new universe, like a newer universe, a more recent universe, I guess, and say like this is both to show old fans that we care about the originals, but we are telling a new story. I think that was the best way they could have.
No, they're not. They're not telling any story. There's no story. There's no story. They're telling the.
You think Force Awakens didn't have any story, and you like Last Jedi? Hold on.
It had the appearance of a story, but it had nothing going on under the hood.
Going, hey, you know what's great? Subverting expectations. What if we subvert every expectation you have for no reason at all?
Well, see,
that being said, I still liked it because it's a Star Wars movie. Because I'm a whore.
This is why people didn't like The Last Jedi, because The Force Awakens was essentially nothing. It was essentially nothing, but it was covered. It was covered in Star Wars colored wrapping paper, so people liked it. And then what Rian Johnson did was he set the wrapping paper on fire, and then there was nothing underneath. And then people got mad because there was nothing underneath.
You know, I actually don't even know what you guys are talking about because in my universe, only 3 Star Wars movies exist. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
God. I will say, I saw Phantom Menace again. I watch all the Star Wars movies constantly, even the fucking prequels. I just love everything Star Wars.
Phantom Menace is a good movie.
I stand by Phantom Menace. And I don't think it's great, but I think it's good.
I got a good question, though.
It's certainly the best of the 3 prequels.
I got a question, though, that you guys can answer for me.
Fucking awesome.
Yes, it was. Why do people listen to us? I'm wondering that right now.
Yeah.
Guys, the good news is they don't anymore. We put an end to that shit.
The last episode is on.
It's over. I'm calling it right here.
You know what? In fact, Mike, you can edit this one. I don't want anything to do with this.
I'm not cutting this out if I edit, just to let you know. So be careful. This is gold.
I also think Knights of the Old Republic 2 is the best Star Wars game. So people might not respect my opinion after I say that. I think Knights of the Old Republic 2 is the best Star Wars game ever made.
It's a pretty damn good game. Yep. That's for sure.
It wasn't finished. It had a lot of problems, but that game tells a story that nothing else in the Star Wars universe tells, and I love that story. It's fantastic.
We made it almost an hour before we got derailed and our ship went to a different planet.
Sorry about Star Wars. It was over the second we left.
It's gonna happen, man.
The back of my head, I was just the entire time we were talking, I was like, don't bring up Knights of the Old Republic. Don't bring up Knights of the Old Republic. Just hold off. You'll get there eventually. Don't bring it up yet.
What happened?
I had to bring it up. I should.
Speaking of Dark Forces, what about the Dark... I like the Dark Troopers. I thought the Dark Troopers were awesome.
Yeah, they're an interesting enemy, for sure.
I mean, they're basically the whole reason you're doing... Like, they're the big bad of the game, essentially. Yeah, they're basically Terminators. They're like Star Wars Terminators.
They are robots.
Yeah, they're essentially they're the like advanced battle droids from Clone Wars before they existed.
Yeah,
they're just like the better version of all the robots.
I thought I liked them. I liked the fact that in the second level you go to a destroyed rebel base, you just see these charred bodies everywhere, and they're like, they all got killed, and everybody just got massacred. I thought,
I like the Dark Trooper that you find. Is it on
the mines? The first one.
No, I think it's on Imperial City. I'm thinking of. It's either Imperial City or Fuel Station where you open a door and there's just a Dark Trooper in your face. That's Imperial City. Yeah, he's just like. Yeah, it's Imperial City. Like you open a door and he's just like suddenly in front of you, and you're like, shit, I gotta get out of here, because those things will mess you up.
Yeah, there's like an escalating level of violence to them. Like the first one will just chop you up, and then the second one will float around and chop and just blast you, and then the final boss is just like the biggest Dark Trooper of them all.
Well, it's a guy in a mech, right?
Well, yeah,
yeah. It's the guy who's been making all the troopers in a mech.
It's
in a trooper mech.
It's the fat Imperial officer who has somehow slimmed down in the short time it took you to find him.
Maybe he had a plus size one.
No, it's got like a built-in girdle.
I like to think that like before like you showed up, he had to get Vader to like butter him up to get.
Yeah, no, he had like a bunch of. They're basically just a bunch of like guys. They're basically like just has a bunch of troopers like all putting the armor on him. Like he's up those little raised platforms, and then like the trifold mirrors like you have like brides have before their wedding. Like he basically just had that.
It's a bunch of Ewoks buttering him up. It's like pushing in the suit.
There's an Ewok in this game. In a
There's also
There are 2 Ewoks.
there's also a lot of anti-Ewok graffiti,
Yeah.
which I find hilarious.
It was like Ewok suck, I believe. Is
Yeah, Ewok suck is written all over the
Yeah.
Imperials, like ships
That's
and
funny.
cities and everything.
There's 2 Ewoks chained in 2 levels. They're like chained in a special place you can go to, and and you can like kill them, and then they start smoking or whatever. And it's a nice little Easter egg. And there are a few Easter eggs. There's the part of the level that I think Mike put a picture on the Facebook page where everyone's in the latrine or whatever, and they're just turned around from you.
I just blast the hell out of all of them.
Yeah.
Was the 3 troopers in the Transocean in there?
There was a Reese, that's the one, the 3-act guy.
Yeah.
I didn't like them. They punch you.
Yeah. Which
Reese goes back
also
to my
racist.
original argument of the Empire. In the first 3 movies, the Empire, everyone goes, "Oh, you gotta hate the Empire. They're the racist." The Empire was hiring aliens left and right. How many aliens work for the rebels? Like 3?
I found that weird. What the hell were Gamorreans doing on the frickin' like near the end of the game? Like, why are you on the Executor? Why are you here? Like, what's the Gamorrean
It's a
doing
little
here?
odd.
They just gotta put the programmers like just put all our sprites in one level and just sort them out later.
Okay, they were like, instead of hiring bounty hunters, they were just, we gotta get some cheap Gamorrean labor in this ship.
It's far easier. You don't have to pay them minimum wage. You pay them a little less.
Gamorreans probably like smell like shit too. That'd be awful. It's just.
And I mean, I remember as a kid when Peter was showing me the Jabba ship level, because I love Return of the Jedi. To me, Return of the Jedi is the best movie. I know I'm wrong, but it's the best movie to me. At least the first half. And I thought it was so cool that you're on Jabba's shit. And I remember seeing that the hologram of Jabba.
Hubbagram.
Hologram.
Well,
Someone take over. I'm out of it.
Yeah, it's like a different pace, the hubbagram.
Yeah,
That level's
it can only get the top of his head.
I gotta say, I like that level a lot more when I used to watch you play it. I did not like it when I played it myself. Did not at all.
Yeah, I think probably because it was like rote by that point. Like I could just be like, oh, here, watch me shoot all these aliens, and you were like, oh, okay.
Well, just watching you play this game was awesome. Playing this game was not awesome.
Yeah,
I was waiting for Boba Fett to jump out of Jabba's ship and attack me there, because you see Boba Fett pretty much right
earlier.
Yeah. It's not that much earlier, right?
It's only like a few levels earlier.
Yeah.
I thought it's the level before the detention center, DJ's favorite level.
Groma's Mine. You see him on Groma's Mines, and then you see Jabba's ship, and you're like, well, surely Boba Fett is lurking around Jabba's ship somewhere, and he never comes out and attacks you, and you're like, this is odd. At some point, I'm gonna get attacked by Boba Fett now, and that put me on edge, because I was like, I'm sure he's gonna be on Jabba's ship. I'm sure. Beat the level, and I was like, did I miss him?
Yeah.
Where's Boba? Something bad is gonna happen to me very soon.
Oh, that was another part that screwed me up, and I had to restart the level. Is when you got to go grab your equipment. I didn't realize you had to jump up the chain to get your equipment. I'm like, where's my equipment? Like, what's going on here?
Oh no.
I didn't like that.
Oh yeah. I mean.
Yeah,
you
but
can just like
that,
I think, right?
You have all your grenades, and I just used grenades for the majority of Jabba's ship.
I didn't like grenades at all. I did not enjoy thermal detonators. I mean, I don't know. I did not enjoy them.
I was a big fan of them.
I enjoy them because the best way to use them is by strafing.
That's another reason.
I was a big fan of the mortar gun. Just gonna go whoomp, whoomp,
yeah,
and then it just blows up everybody in a big fireball. And it's like, this kind of works anywhere, really.
Which one's the mortar gun?
It's like one of the later guns you get. It goes, like I said, it goes. Whoomp, whoomp,
it goes. It's the one that it looks kind of like a rocket launcher.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The gray thing that kind of shot like they look like grenades. They felt like grenades.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Like a mortar. The pan flute.
There you
go. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't use it because at that point I was done caring about the gun.
I liked it. I think I used the concussion rifle more, but the concussion rifle you have to be real careful with.
Is that the green one?
That's the one you get. That's the Transocean one.
Oh, the blue one. Okay, the one with the blue. Yeah, that thing is dangerous.
Yeah, you can. That thing is great for enemies far away. Like if you want to take out a cluster of enemies far away, it's the perfect gun. If something starts charging you and you hit it too close, it just destroys you as well.
I didn't get hurt, but I saw myself bounce back pretty far. I'm like, oh.
I killed myself with it once. It was a Gamorrean boss, and I was fighting. I was like, he's not dying, and he just came around. Like I was shooting him, and another one came around the corner right in front of me, and I hit him and killed myself.
Oh, another thing we hadn't mentioned yet. This game has extra lives throughout the levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have liked it a lot more when you took that out.
It's a nice little Rebel Line symbol just twirling around there. You can just pick it up. And
I think it's the same as the extra lives in the Lego games, right? Isn't the Lego games, the extra lives are the same exact Rebel icon?
Lego games.
Not lives. There's something you collect. You collect that exact thing in the Lego games.
Yeah. I know
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire, the challenge points, they're like gray Rebel Lion symbols. But I think in the Lego games, you can collect that too, if I'm not mistaken.
You collect like badges and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they do.
I think you can unlock different Lego characters the more badges you get. Like you can get Boba Fett, or you can build the shuttle, Imperial shuttle, or something like that.
We should really play one of the Lego Star Wars games at some point. Those are so fun.
Since you mentioned Imperial Officer, I was thinking of Imperial Shuttle. At the very end, I like it. After you kill the Dark Trooper, you're about to beat the game. You walk up to the shuttle, and there's just one lone officer. You just shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
I
think I read somewhere that they put them there to scale so you could see how big their ship was, because that was like a 3D ship. So they're like, just put him there. And
yeah, that was actually really impressive.
Yeah,
like it's just like you get the really nice scale of how enormous these essentially floating cities are.
Right. Yeah.
And I like they show you like at some point a ship in the very beginning. They show you one of the ships like kind of under construction, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the bridge on it yet.
Yeah, they did original designs for this game. I mean, the ship designs are good, and I actually did like the level designs. I think each one is kind of different, and some of them are frustrating. I definitely was frustrated for sure. But like for most of them aren't repeats of the other one. Like you won't some ones you have a linear design, and some ones you'll have like an open area where you have to like kind of backtrack. And if you have a map, or if you have played it for many years, then you'll be better at it than just kind of ambling around. But I don't know. I was a fan of the level design.
That's all I
liked how they looked.
It did look cool.
It looked cool.
The graphics in this game, I mean, especially for the time they had to been. I mean, I remember as a kid, I thought they were really cool, and I still think they were kind of cool
for the time.
Yeah,
they've definitely aged, but I think they still look good. Like
they look good. Like this game, at least visually, has aged better than pretty much. You know, we've played a couple of games on N64 at this point, and I would say it's aged better than any of those, with the possible exception of Banjo-Kazooie, because you had that sort of more cartoony art style, which helps that game in particular. But
I think it's also really helped by the fact that like Star Wars is already it's already an existing media where you kind of have the idea of like what stuff is supposed to look like. And so if stuff looks a little different, it's okay. Like, or like if you see something new, it looks enough like something that exists where you're like, you get the idea of what it is really well.
Right.
So you see like the ship, you know, like immediately you're like, that's a Star Destroyer. I know it's Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and by the way, they do for the most part stay really close to what all the stuff looks like. So,
but it's just like small little things of like, this is clearly a Star Destroyer meant for somebody else, or it's like this is meant for this commander, where it's got his like customizations on that. I always like that.
Oh, what movie was this supposed to take place? I mean, was this the first Death Star plans he was stealing then in the very beginning of this game?
I think there's a cutscene. So he steals the Death Star plans in the first one, and there's a cutscene right after that mission where it's like the Death Star was destroyed. Okay. So everything after that's after the first movie.
Yeah. So in between the two, right? Essentially. Yeah. So this is Boba Fett was recovering.
Yeah. So it's before Empire, so the Imperials were like, you know, we got to think of some new weapon to fight the Alliance. So let's get these robot stormtroopers and do it that way.
Well, for a long time, it was canon that Boba Fett survived, and I think it is canon now that he survived again, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think they have to go that way though, because they're doing the Mandalorian TV series for one thing.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine them saying, "Nope, he died in the Sarlacc pit. That's the end of him. We'll never see him."
They've played it up so much. I would love for them to come out and it's Boba Fett's armor and he takes the helmet off and it's somebody else. It's like he just takes off his helmet, it's somebody else, and he just flips off the camera and walks away. They're like, fuck off, everybody.
That's the post-credit scene, you know, the post-credit of episode 9 or something.
It turns into like the Deadpool of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just somebody he takes off his helmet and it is Deadpool. That'd be amazing. I would have
We're joining
so
the
much
universes
respect.
Yeah.
I always like I
Let's
like
Howard
when-
the Duck.
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier, in '95 you didn't have a lot of Star Wars. I like the fact that this came out and this was trying to help like revitalize the brand a lot.
I think it did. It was the best-selling game, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was for the time. It sold millions of copies of it.
It was a nice little. There were other. The 90s had like a shitload of Star Wars games that were all really small, or not necessarily small, but not like.
Yeah.
It's like every other year there'd be one that was fucking fantastic. But there were a lot of Star Wars games in the 90s. I mean, Rogue Squadron, Jedi Academy.
Around
Jedi Academy is
TIE Fighter, X-Wing.
Yeah, TIE Fighter, X-Wing. Around this time there was Rebel Assault, which was I think 1 and 2 they had, which was like a shooter/ship game combining the two.
Which I have to wonder if was also we brought this up in the Batman episode. I have to wonder how long there were plans to do the Star Wars prequel and how much of this was people going like, okay, let's start getting Star Wars back in the public eye again.
Years.
Well, I know Shadows of the Empire was designed to be like a test for a movie. So like they had like a book and they had a graphic novel and they had a soundtrack and they had a video game. So all that was like, we got to see if we can do this before the prequel.
A movie of this story would have been cool too, though. I could have took a movie of this story.
Well, that's what Rogue One is now.
Yeah.
Combine Rogue One and Solo, and that's kind of the story of if Han Solo became a Jedi. If you combine Rogue One and Solo, then that would be Kyle Katarn's story.
Yeah, they almost make it without any Jedi references in those movies. Like there's very little with the Force in any of those, except for like maybe a few scenes. And which I do appreciate. Like we got to see some people who don't follow this stuff. So
just see like the life of a random mercenary or like an X-wing pilot.
Right, they never mentioned the Force in this game, do they? Other than the title.
I think
Vader, I think, has a line about it.
At one point, Jan says, "May the Force be with you."
Oh.
I think at the end, when Darth Vader's like looking at the ship blowing up, he says, "The Force is strong with this one," or something.
Which makes no.
Just the reference to Kyle Katarn. Well, Kyle Katarn becomes like he's like he almost rivals Luke Skywalker at some point. He becomes like this insane Jedi.
In this game, it's literally it's just the equivalent of Vader going, "That Kyle Katarn is one cool dude."
Yeah. I have to wonder how much of that was
again.
Planned,
that is half of what Vader exists to do in this game. It's just talk about how cool Kyle is. Like seriously, like that's what he's there for. It's ridiculous.
I mean, welcome to the Kyle Katarn fanboys because that's exactly what they do.
This is why I keep saying that this is fanfic, because this is literally fanfic.
It is now.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle Katarn will not be coming back, unfortunately.
Kyle will be on this show, probably.
Yeah. Can we get Kyle Katarn? I think
we got DJ. He can do the voiceover for us.
I think Kyle Katarn might have died a long time ago.
In a galaxy
far away.
Yeah.
I've heard that name in a long time.
I think Kyle Katarn is basically. Well, you know what? I say it's Solo and Rogue One, but I think Kyle Katarn is basically Rey. Honestly, just like a nobody that ends up becoming this insane Jedi.
And since we're in a spiraling hole of craziness, one of the guys who commented on when I was asking for questions said, "You better track down the Kyle Katarn radio drama trilogy," and apparently it's real.
Yeah. I think I listened to that. One of them when I was a kid. Yeah.
What? Oh, wow! I did not know that. I'm learning new things about you.
Yep.
They had.
Oh god! They had a Soldier for the Empire.
Yeah.
Jedi Knight and Rebel Agent. I think are the three. They're like radio plays. They're great.
Yeah, I think they released like a graphic novel / like storybook that was dark. It was called Dark Forces. It didn't really follow the story of the game, but it had Kyle Katarn on the cover. And I think that's what the radio drama was. Like, it was just reading that book. It was like an audio book, but it had... I don't remember much about it, but I remember, like, wanting to know more about Kyle Katarn, and that's why I listened to it, because I thought he was cool, I guess.
He is cool.
Yeah, he's like Han Solo, a little bit of Dash Rendar in there.
I mean,
he's essentially like the best parts of every character.
I mean, because at the time we were probably what? We were 10. We were between 8 and 10 when we first played this game. When you showed it to me.
Yeah, if this came out in '95, then it would have been. And assuming that you were I would have been like 8, probably somewhere around there.
Oh, the guy who did the radio plays is the same guy who wrote Halo: The Flood.
That's a good book.
Yeah. William Dietz. William C. Dietz.
All right, should we start? Anything else you guys want to say about Dark Forces before we go to listener questions? Since I think otherwise I know we'll spiral into a Sarlacc pit of other stuff. So
Hell's right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what tangents I can go down.
Please no.
If I could
Please
mute your mic, I would mute your mic.
Spare both our listeners and whoever has to edit this later.
All right. First question we got from a guy who did guest star on this episode on one of DJ's favorite games we played, GoldenEye. Kendall Hallman asks, "Is Kyle Katarn a great character or the greatest character?"
Kyle Katarn. I mean that Stu basically said it. He's basically Ray in that he's just a self-insert fan fiction character. Like that's what he is. So
he gets a lot more. He gets a lot more defined later.
Oh yeah, which I mean, because again, I mean, this series went on. You had Star Wars Dark Force, you had Star Wars Dark Forces Jedi, no Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Star Wars.
For me, he just seems like the kind of character who literally only exists to do cool shit, and then have other.
The only game you played with him
cool
is the first one, so. Like, in Dark Forces, he is just, like, the character you put yourself into. In the other games, he gets more dialogue. He gets more involved.
Okay.
He's actually not a playable character in Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. He's in the game, but he's not the protagonist. Yeah. Like, he goes from being a guy who is more or less, Doom guy. Just a guy with a gun. He'll occasionally make a quip, but by, like, his last appearance in games, he is like an actual character. So,
all right, I guess I'll have to play more games from him then.
Well, I got
heard it here
news
first.
for you.
We're gonna play Dark Forces 2,
and by that I mean I'm totally not going to play any more of his games unless someone forces me.
The good news is that we have the power to force you. So
he's like resignation letter right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? I think you can edit this one for me this week.
It's worth mentioning.
I think this is more your baby at this point.
You might like too the Kyle Katarn in Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast is like it's actually like a really reverse side of Kyle Katarn where he becomes the Jedi in Dark Forces 2 essentially at it's been so long. Doesn't he become it like halfway through the game or something?
Dark Forces 2, he becomes a Jedi. At some point in that game, Jedi Outcast 2, you start out with the guns, but then you get your Jedi powers back.
Yeah, but it starts off with him like he's completely turned away from the Force, which is it's
I've never played it, unfortunately. I want to, and I plan to make us, but I've never played it.
We definitely should. It's great.
But also, just because I want to mention this, I didn't know about this till I was doing research for the show. There's a Star Wars Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, which is an expansion to the second game. You play as fucking Mara Jade.
Yeah.
I mean that just got me so excited. Which for people that don't know, that's become Luke Skywalker's wife later on in the fan fiction now.
Yeah.
Legends.
It hurts me every time you say that. Yeah, it's Legends.
Yeah.
It's not EU anymore. It's Legends.
But
Mara Jade's a great character.
Yeah, I definitely want to play that. What does
the EU has so many fantastic characters, and to their credit, they are throwing in like they're taking a lot of really interesting story elements and throwing them into new stuff, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Rebels and the Clone Wars TV show. There's a lot of stuff in there that is people like writers saying, what was good about the EU? What can we take and throw? Anytime you talk about I think they changed the name of the extended universe because they didn't want to be confused with like the European Union.
That makes complete sense. Oh, here's another question. Well, not really a question, but I want to read the shout out on the podcast from Owen. He said, also great fucking name / concept for a podcast. So thank you, Owen.
Oh, thank you.
So good job.
We're getting rid of it. We're becoming the Whale Podcast. So sorry.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
And as we said before, I mean, I want to thank our awesome name is all thanks to DJ and his mom finding his Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Months ago.
Okay.
Yep.
It's serendipity. That's always the best ideas. They're always serendipity.
And this one we kind of answered from Gary. How do you like the music? And he thought it was brilliant how they played the Imperial March as a triumphant song in the end, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
love
it
the
was
music.
very cool. I have no complaints about the score in this game. We kind of covered this earlier. It's great stuff. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Is
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars scores are they the most iconic scores right now?
It has to be, I would say.
Yeah,
Who-
I would.
You could recognize them instantly. You can't
Yeah.
say that about like the Marvel movies or anything. I don't think.
The Marvel movie
There's-
scores are always very like Marvel movie music sounds exactly the same as like any battle royale game or
Yeah.
multiplayer game now, where it's like I cannot tell if you played an Overwatch and Avengers theme back to back. I probably couldn't tell you which one is which, and I have watched those movies and played that game so much.
Okay.
Well,
There is one Marvel film where that I will say is the exception to that.
The
And
Ragnarok.
it's no.
I love Ragnarok.
Because it's not quite the same thing. It's got this a lot. It relies a lot more on like a licensed soundtrack and like synth. Captain America, like the first one,
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
because that was Alan Silvestri who wrote the Back to the Future theme, and he was
Nice.
basically just going like full hokey period piece with
It's not
that,
a-
and it
I
totally
should
sounds
say,
it.
I don't think they're bad. I think it's very much like it
It's
fits that
generic.
movie really well,
It's
and
just-
I
it
do.
just-
Yeah,
It's just all really samey. Again, aside from Captain America's theme, which bangs. Okay, guys,
yeah.
it's fucking great.
It fits that movie
But
really.
it's the only one.
Yeah.
It's the only one where it's like, oh yeah, that sounds like the character. It's the only MCU theme where you can actually listen to it and tell what character it goes to.
I think it has a lot of
Yeah.
the same or similar beats to it as well, but they do a good job of like taking essentially the same music and making it different to fit every movie, which I was like. I think Winter Soldier has a great soundtrack because it's the same music, but it's just darker and more sinister the entire time, which I like.
yeah, and I don't know if the
I knew it.
'cause it's
I
up-
knew I could get on a tangent.
yeah.
All right,
I don't know
let's move
if
on,
the-
people.
Well, I don't know if the PS1 version is different in sound quality, but I just, for the record, the PS1 version is also pretty kick-ass for the music.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation 1, the main problems with it were like, believe it or not, I remember people saying like it had really shitty graphics, which I found hilarious.
Oh god,
You look at
every
Doom and you're
song
like,
season-
was that amazing?
it was like, yeah, they were like basically pixels in the background, like 3 pixels made up a stormtrooper, and the frame rate was also really bad.
Yeah. Like the problem with the game wasn't the music; it was the visuals,
It was the everything else.
which is
See,
a shame
everything
because
else but the music.
this game did have some really amazing visuals. So that is a real shame that you played the PlayStation 1.
Mhm.
Yeah, it blows. Don't play the PlayStation 1, people.
They did Darth
All right.
Vader really. Darth Vader looks almost comic booky, but still really like he's got his like
Yeah.
still like iconic presence.
Yeah,
in the game.
the characters in this game look like they're in a DOS game, which
They were.
but it
Yeah.
still works. They still look really good.
So you
Like
does-
believe in DOS games?
It
You're
did
in
make
one.
me laugh when I would close out and said "quit to DOS." I'm like, sure, I'll
Yeah,
quit to DOS.
quit
yeah,
to
okay.
DOS. That was so confusing. Nothing shows its age more than that.
Yeah.
When's the last time
that's
I was-
really funny. That's really funny that like you have to open that menu to go to the next level. And then on the final level, when you're like at the end of the final level and you bring up the menu, it's the button still just says next mission.
Yeah.
You're like, guys, did you not hear?
You get to play through the game again on a harder difficulty now.
Oh shit.
All right.
You have any more questions?
We got one more question, but Stuart, you're not allowed to answer.
Okay.
From Emmanuel, if EA weren't in control of the Star Wars license, what game either canceled or never even announced would you want being made?
KOTOR 3 Mandalorian Wars.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
I've made this joke before and gotten really amusing reactions to it. So here's what I'm gonna say, half joking, half serious. I would make a Star Wars collectathon platformer called Bantho Tuskegee, and I'm out.
I don't
done.
think you're kidding at all in that joke.
We're
I
done.
think it was
We're done
100%.
here.
What
done.
you're talking about, a Star Wars collectathon platformer? Lego Star Wars. That's what you're talking about.
No,
They
Lego
made
Star Wars.
many
Lego
of
Star
those.
Wars is boring and terrible.
He wants it to be levels where you get all the collectibles, miss one, and then went through the door, not get to do it all over again. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
All right, we should start doing shelf for box, and that's all the questions that we had. And I think since this was my pick, I'm gonna go first. When I first started playing this, I was, even though I was not enjoying myself, I was like, I'm going to put this on the shelf because I'm beat it finally. And then I found out that LA Posto is a cheat code, and that went out the window. As much as I enjoyed going back and playing the game, that as a kid I never really got far. I never experienced all of it. It's going in the box because from '95 it needs to stay back in '95. I'm good. I'm in the box. I never want to play it again. DJ, let's hear your thoughts. I'm pretty sure I know them.
I'm boxing this one too. I don't think that comes as a surprise to anyone. Stuart, Mike, keep looking for that first-person shooter that I will put on my shelf because
we will.
You ain't found one yet.
We all knew this wasn't going to be the one, but we will find it.
When I first started playing this, I'm like, oh god, I'm so sorry, guys. That's what went through my head after like the force, especially on that freaking detention center. I'm like, oh god, I'm an asshole.
With cheats, it's not so bad. And to this game's credit, makes it real fucking easy to cheat. Like, this is the easiest game to cheat that we've played thus far. And
what do you have to do to put in the cheats?
What?
Right? What do you have to do to get the cheats?
Oh, you literally just type on the keyboard.
Oh, really? Okay.
Type in LA Posto. I forget what Infinite Shield. You just type in the codes.
Yeah.
I think Infinite Shield is LAIM lame. So.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
So yeah. And you know what? I am lame, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
I always like when games do that. It's like Phantom Pain will, if you fail a mission too many times, you can choose to make the mission easier, but you have to wear a chicken on your head.
You know what? I have no shame.
Yeah,
I need to play that game someday.
Yeah, this is going in my box, and I don't feel too bad about that. There are some cool things about this game, but it's just it's a first-person shooter on DOS. You have to press page up and page down to look up and down. It's going in my box.
It was a different time, DJ.
Kendo, if you're listening, which I know you will be, you were right. DJ, put it in this box. You predicted the future. Stuart, let's hear your opinion. I'm pretty sure I know it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody. I genuinely really enjoy this game. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars in general.
I don't say.
I know a thing or two about Star Wars. I love the old games. I love the new games. They're all great. Star Wars always does really good games in my minds. Dark Forces was fun. It reminded me of playing like Doom. It's been a long time since I played it. Actually, no, I've never played this one actually. Because I thought I was playing Doom for a while. To the point that I almost started playing the wrong game for next week because I was like, we're playing Doom, right? It's just in my head. I was thinking about Doom after playing this game all day. But yeah, it's a great like Doom clone. I think it's really fun. If you like that old style of like Wolfenstein, Doom style games, Quake, stuff like that, give this a shot. The music was fantastic. I liked the visuals were great, and I just had a genuinely good time playing this game. I will definitely play it again. It's for sure going on my shelf. Not just because it's a Star Wars game, but I had a good time playing it.
Stefan, what about you?
I mean, it comes as no surprise that I played this on the PS1, so it's a piece of shit. But, even having said that, I mean, it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. I mean, yeah, it's a terrible port. It looks like crap on PS1. If you had to play it, go play the DOS version. But
which you can get easily.
Yeah, and it's easily available. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the box, only because if I wanted to play a game like this, kind of like Stuart said, I'd go play Doom. So in the box.
And Peter, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think I'm kind of with Stuart on this one. A lot of it's probably going to be nostalgia. It's going to be, I know it looks primitive, and I know it's very frustrating in a lot of areas, but I do have fond memories of it, and I would put it on my shelf. I don't know when I'd play it again after not playing it for like 10 years or so, but I would definitely play it again. I think it's fun, and I think it's designed to be fun, and there are a lot of things you can do, especially if you put in the codes, that just make it a fun experience. And I love Star Wars. I'm a sucker for Star Wars games. I'm gonna put it on my shelf.
All right. That's about what I expected. I knew all 5 of us were gonna pick what. I was pretty sure I was right. I was right, by the way. Yeah, I know our taste in games.
Yeah.
And anyone who's curious to try this game, I mean, you can find it on GOG.com, you can find it on Steam.com, you can find the PlayStation 1 version, but I don't recommend that. And before we start wrapping up, since you are our special guest, Peter, would you like to plug where people can find you? And I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show, but he is a published author.
I am, yeah. So you can I do have 2 novels out there. You can find them on Amazon. The first is part of a trilogy. The first novel is called The Fifth Civilization. It's a sci-fi novel. And the second one is called Ultima Meridian. It's a sequel to The Fifth Civilization. So check it out if you like kind of space opera, philosophical space opera, stuff like that. Aliens, guns, things like that.
Basically, if you like Star Wars.
Yeah. So
it's almost like this was planned.
That's on Amazon. My name is Peter Bingham Pancratz, once again. You can also find me on Twitter at PeterBP.
And a link for his book will be in the show notes of this episode. If you're still here, if you haven't gotten shot and blown up by us yet, or hate us because of our Star Wars opinions.
People crashing down the side of the road, just listening to us while driving, shaking their fist.
Anything else you guys want to plug before we start wrapping up?
Just this short little IP I really like called Star Wars. Everyone should go check that out. It's a tiny little universe. I don't know.
Captain Picard.
Yeah, Captain Picard. Captain Picard. Leonard Nimoy's in it.
Yeah.
Stefan, anything from you?
Nothing.
All right.
All right.
DJ, would you want to say where we can hear our wonderful intro and outro came from?
Yes. So our wonderful theme song comes to us courtesy of Mike Stoney, a.k.a. Bulby. It's called The Cool Kids Squad. It's off his EP, Bite the Bullet. You can find Mike on his SoundCloud. You can also find him on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bulby. He's got a lot of really cool 8 and 16-bit video game covers up on there, as well as his original stuff. Just this week, he actually put up a cover of the Monster Hunter, the main Monster Hunter theme, in the style of the original Star Fox on SNES. It's real good. You should go listen to it. So yeah,
to watch later real quick.
Yeah.
And you can find us on Facebook. Please follow us on Facebook. I'm constantly posting new images of whatever game was coming up to let people get excited. Oh, and I forgot to mention, next week we're playing Shadow of the Colossus. Where the hell my brain?
Yeah. We're playing a good game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're playing it. I mean, I just started. I'm really excited for it. And just to kind of say in the show, I'm not sure which versions we're all playing, but it could be PS2, PS3, PS4, because it's all the same game. I mean, it looks better.
I elected for PS3 because I feel like the PS4, it actually did make some like functional improvements, and I wanna experience like the original version.
That's probably better. I'm glad you are, because I'm playing the PS4 version.
I'm watching a playthrough on that movie Reign Over Me. I've just been watching that left and right, just to see Adam Sandler play it. And that's how I'll play it. That's how I'll experience it.
All right, and you can find us on Facebook. You can find us. We are on most podcasting platforms. If you're not on somewhere that your friend's like, I'll listen to this, let me know. I will add it on there. You can find me on Facebook. You can find us, and I watch the entire Overblood Super Replay. And I want to thank you for listening to this.
Soon, all videos will be games my mom found.
Yes.
We will control the popular stuff.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful night, and thank you for listening.
Goodbye, everybody. I promise.
Let's leave it with that famous Star Wars quote, never give up, never surrender.
Okay, I promise next week will be better, guys. I'm really sorry.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.